Most people who've been through KLIA think they know the airport. Check in, go through immigration, find your gate, done. But there's an entire transport system running underneath your feet that most passengers never fully understand. And if you don't know how it works, it could cost you time, money, and a whole lot of unnecessary stress. Today, I'm going to break down every single layer of how you move inside and between the terminals at KLIA, including the part that confuses even frequent flyers. By the end of this, you'll navigate that airport like you designed it yourself. Before we get into it, if you're watching this right now, I need a small favor. My cousin in Johor Bahru keeps telling me that nobody wants to watch videos about local Malaysian topics, that people only click for drama or vlogs. I want to prove him wrong. If this kind of content is useful to you, content that actually helps Malaysians travel smarter, drop a like and subscribe. Buktikan yang dia salah. Show him we support each other. Assalamualaikum and welcome back. Let's start with something most people get wrong before they even land. KLIA is not one airport. It's actually two separate terminals sitting about 2 kilometers apart. The main terminal, which most people call KLIA, and KLIA 2, which opened in 2014 and serves primarily budget carriers like AirAsia and Batik Air. These two buildings are physically connected, but the connection is not as simple as walking through a corridor. This is where the confusion begins for so many people. Here's the situation. Imagine you fly into KLIA main terminal from London on Malaysia Airlines, but your friend arrives at KLIA 2 from Kota Kinabalu on AirAsia. You both think you're at the same airport. You are, technically. But you're not in the same building, you're not on the same floor, and you cannot simply walk to each other. You need a vehicle to get there. That vehicle is the KLIA transit train. And this is where the hidden system starts to reveal itself. The KLIA transit is operated by Ekspres Rail Link, or ERL. It's part of the same rail network that runs the famous KLIA Ekspres, the fast train that takes you from the airport to KL Sentral in 28 minutes flat. But KLIA transit is different. While the Ekspres skips everything and goes straight to KL Sentral, transit makes stops. And one of those stops is KLIA 2. So if you need to get from the main terminal to KLIA 2, you board the KLIA transit at the station inside the main terminal basement, travel one stop, and you arrive at KLIA 2 in about 2 minutes. 2 minutes. The fare for that single interterminal journey is around RM2, making it one of the cheapest train rides you'll ever take. But here's the thing. A lot of people don't know they need to pay at all. They assume it's a free shuttle. It's not. You tap in, you tap out, just like the LRT back home. Now for those of you who just landed and you're thinking, wait, what if I'm not going to KLIA 2? What if I'm going to KL City Center? Let's talk about that too, because the options here are layered in a way that actually gives you real choice depending on your budget and your timeline. You've got 3 main ways to get from KLIA to KL. The first is the KLIA Ekspres. Fast, clean, reliable. 28 minutes, no stops, RM55 for a single adult ticket as of recent fares. And you arrive right at KL Sentral, which connects you to KTM, LRT, monorail, and buses. If you've ever rushed out of a flight, grabbed your bag from the carousel, and needed to be somewhere important in the city within the hour, this train is the reason you made it. The second option is the KLIA Transit, which takes about 35 to 38 minutes to KL Sentral, but makes 3 intermediate stops: Salak Tinggi, Putrajaya Central, and Bandar Tasik Selatan. The ticket price is the same as the Ekspres for the full journey to KL Sentral, but you have the flexibility to stop at Putrajaya if that's where you're headed. A lot of government servants flying in for official visits use this option specifically because Putrajaya Central puts them close to the ministries. Smart, right? The third option is the bus, and don't dismiss it just because it's a bus. The Skybus and Aerobus services operate from KLIA and KLIA 2 to various points in KL, including KL Sentral, Hentian Duta, and Terminal Bersepadu Seletan, or TBS. Tickets hover around RM10 to RM15 depending on the service and destination. It takes longer, anywhere from 60 to 90 minutes depending on traffic on the Plus Highway, but for a budget traveler or someone not in a rush, saving RM40 on the train adds up over multiple trips. But wait until you hear about the part of this system that even experienced airport users overlook. Inside the main terminal itself, there's another transit system that most people only discover by accident. Once you've cleared immigration and you're in the satellite building, which is the section that extends out from the main terminal and holds many of the international gates, you might notice that some gates are quite far from the central area. Extremely far, actually. KLIA's main terminal covers roughly 200,000 square meters of floor space. That's not a building. That's a small town. To handle the distances within the terminal itself, KLIA has an internal Aerotrain system. This is a fully automated, driverless people mover that connects the main terminal to the satellite building. It runs underground. It's free to use once you're airside, meaning once you've gone through security, and it runs continuously. The journey takes about 2 minutes. If you've ever been at KLIA and suddenly realized your gate is in the satellite building with 15 minutes to boarding, that Aerotrain has probably saved your flight. Here's something interesting about the Aerotrain that most people don't think about. It's been running since KLIA opened in 1998. Malaysia Airports Holdings Berhad, or MAHB, launched KLIA on June 27, 1998. Just in time for it to serve as a venue facility for the 1998 Commonwealth Games. That means this internal people mover system has been quietly doing its job for over 25 years. While we were updating our phones and our apps and our entire way of life, that little underground train has just been going back and forth, millions of times. Sound familiar? It's like the unsung hero of the airport. Nobody takes a photo of the Aerotrain. Nobody posts it on Instagram. But the moment it's not there, everyone panics. Now let's connect all of this together because here's the bigger picture that most travel content never explains. KLIA was designed as a hub airport. Not just a departure point, a hub. The idea was to position Malaysia, specifically Sepang, as the connecting gateway between Southeast Asia and the rest of the world. That design philosophy shaped every transport decision inside and around the airport. The rail link to KL Sentral was not an afterthought. It was planned before the terminal was even built. The ERL network was developed alongside the airport as a package, a deliberate effort to make international transit through Malaysia as smooth as possible. And for a period in the early 2000s, it worked exceptionally well. KLIA consistently ranked among the top airports in the world in passenger satisfaction surveys. Skytrax gave it a 5-star rating for multiple years. The infrastructure was genuinely world-class. Then KLIA 2 opened in 2014, and things got more complicated. KLIA 2 was purpose-built for low-cost carriers, which meant a different passenger experience almost by design. Higher volumes, lower margins, faster turnarounds. The interterminal connectivity suddenly became a critical issue because now you had premium and budget passengers arriving at different buildings and needing to connect to each other or to onward ground transport. Remember what I said earlier about the KLIA transit being RM2 for the interterminal trip? Here's why that matters even more now. If you are connecting from an international flight at the main terminal to a domestic AirAsia flight at KLIA 2, that 2-minute train ride is a legitimate part of your international transit. But if you don't know, it exists. If you think you can just walk between terminals, you will miss your flight. People have missed flights because of this. Real people, with real tickets, standing at the wrong terminal wondering why the departure board doesn't show their flight. The solution is simple once you know it. Always check which terminal your flight departs from before you even leave the house. Your ticket will say KLIA or KLIA 2. It will not say Terminal 1 or Terminal 2 in the confusing way that other airports do it. It actually tells you by name. And if you need to transfer between them, budget at least 45 minutes to be safe, because beyond the train ride itself, you need to clear security again at KLIA 2 if you're going from the main terminal. This is the detail that changes everything. The transport system is there. It's functional, it's affordable, and it connects all the pieces. But it only saves you if you know it exists before you need it. So let's bring this home. 3 things to remember. 1. KLIA has 2 terminals that are connected by the KLIA transit train. That ride costs roughly Rm2 and takes 2 minutes. It is not free, and it is not optional if you need to move between terminals. 2. For getting to and from the city, you have real options. The KLIA Ekspres in 28 minutes for around Rm55. The KLIA Transit for the same price with intermediate stops. Or the bus for Rm10 to Rm15 if time is not your priority. 3. Inside the main terminal, the internal Aerotrain is free, driverless, and connects the main terminal to the satellite building. If your gate says satellite, take the train. Don't walk. You will not make it on foot. We built one of the most ambitious airports in Southeast Asia. The infrastructure is genuinely impressive. But infrastructure only works if you know how to use it. And now you do. If this helped you, if you learned something you'll actually use the next time you're at KLIA, subscribe to the channel. More content like this is coming, built specifically for Malaysian travelers who want to navigate the world smartly. Share this with someone flying out soon. Because knowing this before you travel is the difference between a smooth journey and a nightmare one. Jaga diri, selamat jalan, and I'll see you in the next one.